This is the Ms.FitVegan podcast, episode 255. I would like to read an excerpt from How to Love Yourself by Teal Swan. Victim to victor. Who is the real victim? Part of loving ourselves is stepping out of the role of the victim. Before we continue, I must make something crystal clear. People in the world find themselves in positions where, by human definition, they are absolutely victims. In the spiritual and self-help field, this is often denied, giving rise to a movement of victim shaming, as if it is always wrong to feel like a victim or to perceive yourself as one, no matter the circumstance you find yourself in. This is not what I am saying at all. There is a big difference between the very real experience of being a victim, including the thoughts and emotions that come with the healing from that experience, and victim mentality in and of itself. Many of us think we do not have a victim mentality when in fact we do. There are varying extremes of victim mentality. It can manifest when we have a handicap and we pity ourselves for an accident that we can't control and we can't change, and that has now caused us to feel as if we are incapable. It can also manifest when we have a job we hate but are convinced we have to keep that job. In fact, we are in the role of the victim anytime we feel powerless to something else, whether we feel powerlessness to a self-limiting belief, a person, a government, or a circumstance. It's easy to slip into the belief that we aren't in control of our own lives. But whenever we don't see that we are in control of our own lives, we get stuck in the role of victim. Being a victim does have some nice perks. First of all, it allows us to not have to take on responsibility, which can feel like a burden and can get very, very heavy when we are adding blame on top of that responsibility. Interestingly, the universe does not recognize blame. Blame is something that originates from the human psyche. Yet another perk of being a victim is that you don't have to take responsibility for your future. It's hard to realize that no one is going to save you from your situation. One of the most painful realizations you can have is the realization that no one can rescue you from yourself. When you feel powerless, the awareness that there is no one to help you but you is enough to push you right over the edge. Many people commit suicide when they come to this realization. I almost did myself. Those of us who feel the most powerless are faced with the decision either to commit to life and do what we can with what we have from where we are, or to commit in the other direction and choose death. Taking responsibility for our future means we have to drop the thoughts, words, and actions that aren't getting us anywhere. I'm going to read that again. Taking responsibility for our future means we have to drop the thoughts, words, and actions that aren't getting us anywhere. It means we have to change, and change is scary. It's scary to hold the weight of your own life in your own hands, but our lives will only become lives of joy, freedom, and peace when we can own the responsibility not only for what was, but also for what is and what is to come. Another perk of being in the victim role is we get attention and validation for it. We mistake the concern and pity we get from others for love. And it begins to become the only way we feel love. We become very scared that if we gain autonomy or our problems go away, we will be all alone. People get tired of giving us attention and validation for our pain after a while. They begin to gravitate away from us and we feel abandoned. Our only hope is to find someone new to validate and pity us. And so I'm going to stop here because it's like 2 a.m. again. But I really wanted to get that out. And this is from a book, again, called How to Love Yourself by Teal Swan. This is an amazing book that I highly recommend. And she's just a really prolific writer. And she tells her life story so beautifully. And she gives so many exercises that have been so helpful to me. I think my very last podcast that I just did had an exercise from her, because I'm reading this book again and I'm doing the exercises, and it's very, very powerful. And I hope that you get this book, and I hope you realize that being a victim doesn't get you the life that you really, really want. It doesn't. Victims never get what they want. And so I want you to just think about that. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, boo.